Happy Thanksgiving to those who are listening. This is about how our government is violating my privacy rights, violating my rights to person for private gain, and how they're doing it. Okay, so there's two parts. There's the individual part where they're violating my privacy, breaking into wherever I was living, and then violating my person by attacking my psyche to interrogate and then implant subliminal messaging. And then there's a second part with the social aspect where they violate my First Amendment rights to free association by threatening other people or getting those people to violate my rights, thinking they're going to gain something from it. So let's start with the first part, individual rights. So apparently for the last 25 years, they've been breaking into my space, wherever that may be, and then they're violating my person using subliminal messaging. And now they're actually fully assaulting me. So what I was able to discern with and then proven last night is the East Indian, because I was beating their usual mental games because I was far stronger. So the East Indian, what he does is uses a poison. He poisons you, knocks you out, and then he locks your back. And he even gloated about it. Like, why am I gaining weight? Because it's shutting down my internal organs. And then his other thing is he would check to see if my shoulder was locked up, because that locks in. But the main thing, from my perspective, is I woke up while they were trying to interrogate me. Couldn't move my body, but I was able to hear them directly as people. And what he would do is I would feel my whole entire back loosen up. It was like a freaking ladder. It went all the way down. And then they would start their interrogations. Then they would poison me and lock the muscles back up. So it's like they're locking my entire body, my id down. So only they have access to my person. And it also gives them understanding whatever thoughts my super ego, my conscious self, was thinking. And this is how they interrogate. And they did this last night because they still can't figure out how to beat me because they have to kill me. There's only two things that end this. They have to kill me or they have to keep doing this forever, and they're not going to keep doing this forever. So I'm a dead man. So I have no, now they're blind to my brother and my sister and everybody else in this fucking world. Oh, we're just, no, that's bullshit. They need to stop it. You know, you shouldn't be angry. Bullshit. Somebody keeps poking you forever, every single moment of your life and steals everything. You have every fucking right to be pissed. It steals everything you've ever worked for. You have every right to be pissed. And I have every right to be fucking furious. And the fact that, not surprised, but what gets me the most is how the average person who's watching all of this is just like, oh, it's entertainment. Bullshit! You're a fucking bunch of cowards. And so now they're stealing everything I've ever created. Then they implant the subliminal messaging. Well, I can't do anything. I'm sitting there trying to work out. I realize working out removes the neurotoxin out of my body. So what do? They put more neurotoxins on both of my knees, so it's hard to even walk. And more so on my back. Last night they just kept hammering my knees. All right. So now the thing we have about Decker. known for years, whatever, right? They get him. He's all pissed off. Well, you know what? I don't care anymore. Because they get him, they threaten him because he was doing some little shady shit, but wasn't that big of a deal. You know, to help out with him and his old lady. And I knew what it was. At first I didn't, because I just didn't really care. I wouldn't have felt that way, but I knew what it was, and I just like, but I already did figure it out. I was like, whatever, who cares? It was mostly just doing him a favor. From my perspective, it was a dual favor kind of thing. But McRaven and these fucking motherfuckers then hold that against them because it would be kind of embarrassing, maybe a bit illegal, but maybe not. Depends on how how it was framed. And then they hold him. It's where you have to do what we tell you. I mean, there's times where I've caught his handler. And they're like, oh, this is some friend. I'm like, that's good. You're no friend. You're a fucking handler. I can see the energy between you two, and it's not friendship. So now this shows how bigots force, he kind of agrees with Charlie Kirk, and my dad, we won the West and all this shit, and yeah, blah blah blah. But if we believe in America and the idea of rule of law, and then the one thing he said to me is, "Oh, you gotta make sure people don't steal your shit." Well, fuck! Why are you helping them steal my shit? Is what I would have to, but I kept my fucking peace on that one. But I was like, really? Are you fucking kidding me? But you're helping these steal my shit. I don't ask for anybody's shit. I don't try to take any. I work hard. I want to earn it, and we have a mutual thing. But bigots, who are psychopaths, who are just like the Mohammedans. See, the Christian nationals are just like the Mohammedans. They believe the exact same thing. There's a thing like, if you get rid of your demons, 7 demons come and reappear. That's why you have your zealots who are once, St. Peter. Well, fucking zealot. He was a psychopath who created the, quote, church. This is not the way the early Christianity was. Early Christianity was not top down. It was communal. Completely different. But anyways, they got him. They got Decker. And so he's going to get all... Now he has to change his mind, change his whole person to be angry at me so he could do the terrible things that he knows he doesn't truly want to do in his heart. This is how bigots turn people. This is how psychopaths force people to do absolutely horrible things. And then once you've done that horrible thing, then it's like, you start rationalizing. And the thing is, what really got this going here is I remember it was when I finally decided, I looked at the Navy, I had joined the wrong military organization, and then I was reading about a couple of months ago, some guy who was talking about it was a Simon Sinek, Leaders Eat Last, how the Marine Corps, and this other sailor real said the same thing that I had always felt. He goes, man, when I saw the Marines do this, I realized I joined the wrong frickin' service, because the Navy, they'll throw each other under the bus second, because first off, they're not training everybody to kill them. So they can be as shitty as they want. And then when they got rid of the Nimitz line of officers, all that's left were a bunch of psychopaths, i.e. the same thing as the Mohammedanians want, the Islamists want. That's when Islam will be pure. All psychopaths. Right? And I sat there, but when it came to me, I was sitting there. Technically when I was in the Army, it was actually Army Reserves, Army National Guard for Florida. I guess it wasn't a really big Army. But since I never got called up, I never got put in a big Army. So I'm going through Army boot camp. And First Sergeant Bridges. I'm coming through, you're doing this thing, you're doing the exercise, smoke, whatever, and I'm sitting there rolling through. There was Bridges standing there. Dude's huge, mountain of a man, dude. And he's like, damn. I'm thinking, that's the kind of person I want to be after my career. That's the kind of strength of self that I wish to be. And I was like, yeah, I dig this. Now, fast forward several years. I'm sitting at the hangar in Devdrew. We had the CO, who was a piece of shit, who ended up becoming an admiral, but it's like nobody, not even in the fucking command, everyone's like, well, yeah, whatever, we'll do our thing, but we have zero respect for this guy. We don't understand how this guy keeps getting fucking rank, right? He's a pure piece of shit. And he's giving his fucking speech, and he's laughing at everybody as he's telling them, oh yeah, we're going to push everything down, ha ha ha, and he's doing a sub-vocal laugh. I'm just looking at him going, what a tool. What a fucking tool, right? And then, but main thing is I'm looking over at Tony Adams, Master Chief, N6. He's a fucking piece of shit. This dude, he was so disjointed, and he had swallowed up the meme entity of the Navy. Necks pushed out, and drew the whole bullshit. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here, man. I've been a fighter for far too long, and you're not a fighter. You know, you're just an asshole. And it was after because I was studying the Navy, and I was thinking to myself, okay, where did these cultural processes come from? I came to the conclusion a lot of it came from when sailing ships, they would go in and they would just steal their crew and then beat them into submission. All right? Very psychopathic. And I'm like thinking to myself, and we're sitting in there, we're all at attention, and I'm looking at Tony Adams, and he can't even stand up straight. And it's not about pride. It's like, he's fighting his own internal self. And I went, nah, I'm done. This place is not for me. These are not the type of people I want to be. Little did I know these assholes were going to violate every fucking law. Or if there is a law, they make sure that anytime I try to get a lawyer, they threaten them. This shit needs to stop. These are corrupt motherfuckers. And here's the problem. They're in a catch-22 because as soon as I am proven right, that means the world knows, well, Putin already knows we're a fucking bunch of hypocrites as far as, and most people will think, oh, he's talking about what we do that are racist. But to the black folks, no, he's talking about what we do to all of our citizens. We're a bunch of fucking hypocrites. McRaven should have never been allowed to, first off, become an officer, but damn sure never been allowed to become an admiral. But corrupt meets other corrupt people. We are behind because of him. We don't have the technological advancements like the Air Force as we do. Our Navy should be way more technologically advanced than it is. But because of McRaven, it isn't. And all those other admirals that were around him. McRaven needs to go to jail, and so does Admiral Olson, because these are illegal orders. The Democrats need to be can't send, because of the bullshit Supreme Court ruling, can't send Biden to jail, but we should be. And technically, Kamala Harris wasn't, unless they wrote it down, but I doubt it. She wasn't technically in charge, so she's free. But she should also go to jail as well. The Democrats have fucked this country. The Republicans, at least you know they're screwing us over. But the Democrats have been absolutely worse. The corporate Democrats have totally fucked everything that so many people say they fought and died for. And what Trump's doing down in Venezuela is just par for the course. Because that's going to feed the Koch brothers, because They're the only ones who's going to benefit from that heavy oil, because it's the only ones that can refine that, unless I build something in Jamaica. You see, these people are evil. And I'm not saying you don't do evil shit sometimes, but when you're doing evil both to your in-group and your out-group, that's just evil. And then trying to blame it on others who have no ability to do any of that. So yeah, this shit needs to end. And King Charles needs a foot in his ass. Because here's the funny thing, as long as I'm alive, they can't move against King Charles either. But I damn sure ain't putting up with this shit anymore either. So he's fucked both ways as well. Duchess and the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh, who are not the Duke and Duchess, but the false Duke and Duchess, believe they're safe. They're not. You tried to overthrow the United States, or are trying to overthrow the Constitution of the United States, and all of you motherfuckers in the royal family. And, oh yeah, and if you're thinking Parliament's not as clear, so were Starmer and the top leadership of Parliament. So Parliament also is guilty of treason. It's different if they had brought it to the floor and spoke about it, but they didn't. They did it in secret. So that makes it treason. Everyone in the British hierarchy, the top of the heap, I have by the fucking balls. And make no mistake about it, I'm going to cut them the fuck off and cut their neck off. Shit's got to stop. And you go, well, who are you to, we've been in power? Yeah, fuck off. You've been in power by doing the things that Her Majesty was going to do, and you're doing the exact opposite, so it means you're going out of power. It is in my selfish best interest to maintain your power. So if I'm doing things, so for me to do things that can't reduce my power means it is doing things that are reducing your power. I wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving, but this shit needs to end. These traitors need to be brought down. And I need your help to do it. You can't be a bunch of fucking cowards arguing over dumb shit.